Sir, good morning, Vamsi sir. Vamsi sir, good morning, sir. Sridhar madam,
Sir,
you co-host to Vamsi sir.
sir,
Vamsi Krishna CS. Okay,
yes,
then
sir.
give you.
Yeah, you only can get. Sir. Good morning, Vamsi Krishna, sir.
Vamsi Krishna sir, good morning, sir.
Hi, sorry, I was on mute. So
Yeah.
I believe I am audible now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, thanks. Hi, good morning.
Yeah. Hope we can start the session, sir. With your permission, I'll give you a brief introduction about you, and then we can start the session.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Good morning, one and all. I, Sridevi, Assistant Professor, KLEF University, welcoming you all to this 3-week International Faculty Development Program conducting by Department of Electronics and Computer Science in association with Academic Staff College, KLEF University. We conducted from past 2 weeks 3-week International Faculty Development Program on research perspectives on AI, ML, data science, and IoT. In continuation with 2-week FDP, national level short-term training program on full stack AI and deep learning practitioner approach, starting from 17th May till June 19th. Once again, I welcome all the participants to this wonderful 3-week international faculty development program. And we came to last week of this 3-week faculty development program. So today we have a wonderful person with us to share his knowledge. I'll introduce Mr. Vamsi Krishna Chawli to all the participants with a brief introduction. In a summary, he is a highly motivated BA specialist with 15 years of experience in developing business intelligence solutions from various data warehouse systems, includes HR, mortgage, banking, healthcare, digital media, marketing domains using Microstrategy, Tableau, and Power BI. He completed his Masters of Computer Applications from Acharya Nagarjuna University in 2005 and completed postgraduate diploma in data science from IIIT Bangalore. His technical expertise in OLAP tools like Microstrategy, Tableau, Power BI, analytics language like SQL, R, Python, database technologies like Teradata, Hadoop, SAP HANA, Oracle, SQL Server, Sybase IQ, and data mining, statistics, and exploratory data analytics. And he had professional experience, started IT career at First Indian Corporation as technical trainee, Microstrategy developer, and worked for about 3.8 years during the period 2006 to 2009 with the role Microstrategy developer, and worked at Cognizant Technology Solutions associate projects for 1 year during the period 2009 to 2010 as BA developer, and worked at United Health Group as senior applications developer for 3.6 years during 2010 to 2014 with the role senior applications developer, worked at Accenture India Services Private Limited as a senior software engineer lead for 1.3 years during 2014 to 2015 with the role module lead for the company Ericsson as a client, and worked at Adobe Systems India Private Limited at BA engineer for 3 years during 2015 to 2018 with the role BA engineer, and he is currently working for Standard Chartered Bank GBS Bangalore since 2018 to till date with the role business intelligence lead for the project workforce management analytics. Coming to his Nature of experience, he had 15 plus years of extensive experience in data warehouse, business intelligence applications, requirements gathering, testing, and support. Expertise has been concentrated in all the phases like architect, design and development, implementation, administration of multiple BA tools like Microstrategy. He had experience in usage statistics report development for performance tuning and recommendations. He is successful in interacting with upper level decision makers, resolving critical problem areas and delivering on customer commitments, proven track record of delivering quality services without compromising with service standards. He maintained a high degree of customer satisfaction through the implementation, investigation, analysis, training, and relationship building efforts, working on Tableau data science to enable data discovery, advanced visualization capability. He has a wonderful experience in war room discussions for quick resolution strategies over P1 ticket requests. He traveled to Santa Ana, California for 1 year during the period October 2012 based on L1B visa for Optimex United Healthcare. So this is a very short, brief introduction about Vamsi Krishna sir. Once, sir, we welcome you on this platform to share your valuable knowledge on business intelligence tools today, sir. I welcome you, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for the detailed walkthrough on the curriculum shared. So thanks for the detailed description there. So I believe I'm audible, right? Before I go ahead with the presentation, I just want to make sure. So am I audible first, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible perfectly.
Clear. Fine then. So can I share my screen, please? Can you please make the presenter, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now you are the presenter.
Yeah. Thank you. So let me know once you're able to see my screen now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's visible.
So hello everyone. Good morning. So as the wonderful lady, had given some detailed description about me, so I don't need to introduce myself here. So, but still, I just want to highlight about myself quickly. So as my primary proficiency primarily into the business intelligence. So explored in multiple business intelligence tool. Today I'm here. It's a great opportunity for me to share my experiences, whatever I carry for the past 14 plus years. So I'm here today to share you some fine understanding on the available BI tools available in the market. And I believe here the target audience are the aspirants who are about to get into the capstone projects primarily, where the primary skill sets are towards analytics. So today, I just, though I think this entire program is primarily getting covered around data science and machine learning and Internet of Things, but still, I think still, if you see, my main topic is primarily onto the descriptive analytics that is in the business intelligence. So, but still, I think this would definitely help you to take it to the next level, that is into data mining and data science as well. So I don't want to drag here much. So directly I'll get into the so initial foundational topics first. Though you have some decent experience or decent understanding on those fundamentals, but it is better to cover those areas as well first for the next for the next 10 minutes first. Then we'll get into the practical demos between the both enterprise tools, that is Microstrategy as well as in the Tableau. So maybe in every 10 minutes, maybe you can post your questions there so that I will answer then and there, so that I'll try to clarify your doubts then and there itself, please. Can I go ahead, please?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, sir.
So yeah. So the primarily today's agenda is primarily onto the analytics. What are the different types of analytics we have, and what is this business intelligence is about, and how the architecture looks like, and what is the primary difference you see between the data science and the business intelligence, and once you cover these basic fundas, right? I think then we'll get into the most interesting topic, say MicroStrategy. This is one of the most leading enterprise BA tool available in the market now, and also followed by the Tableau, and this is also one leading visualization tool available in the market. So I will try to give you some understanding, and I'll make sure post this session, you will be in a session, you will be in a position to download those free softwares ready available for exclusively for the students, where you can make use, during your capstone project development. So, and also I will share some of the recommendations as well, and so that definitely will help you to to get this project done in a most comprehensive way. So yeah, that's the case. So my first part, right, getting into the analytics, right? So I think by this time you already covered how many types of analytics we have, right? So but before that, what is this analytics is about in the sense, right? So in this real-time world, there so much of data is getting populated in their respective databases, in either in the technologies or in the flat files. So there is no proper channel. I mean to say, either there can be a proper channel, or there will not be a separate channel, but doesn't matter how the data will be stored in any manner. So the data you will be having in structured way, an unstructured way, and semi-structured way as well. But at the end of the day, you are entitled to draw some useful insights in the form of information from the data. So that is what the analytics, right? So you may need to, you as a developer or a statistician or a data scientist or a data analyst, right? You are here to analyze the data, and you may need to generate some useful insights for the business, so that will be helpful for their decision support system. So if you see in this analytics type, we have primarily 4 types of analytics we have, starting with the descriptive analytics, where the business will be primarily focused on the historical data and the current data. That means what's literally happened until now. So you could see those insights in the relatively under the descriptive analytics. Whereas in the diagnostic analytics, so after by getting that insights, right, why is it literally happening, to the business? Maybe you can generate some useful insights from the diagnostic analytics as well. So whereas in the next two, right, these two comes under the data science, that is predictive and prescriptive analytics. What likely to happen, and what do I need to do based on the inferences generated out of those statistical models that comes from this predictive analytics. So I would say the business intelligence primarily, will fall under descriptive, and some part of enterprise BA tools will be part of diagnostic analytics as well. And though the BA tools are capable of handling some data science features as well, but we should not consider them completely as a kind of data science tools. So we should understand what is this tool is about, until what extent we can make use for the relevant practice. I mean to say, the warehouse is not a technology, right? It's a kind of practice. So even the data science, you mean to say, it's a kind of practice where you will have full stack of roles will be there, under which data visualization is one of the leading role among all the full stack of data science. So let's see, how this business intelligence tool like MicroStrategy and Tableau will fall under the descriptive analytics. How it is literally giving some useful insights for the business. Maybe we'll see in a practical demo. Clear? Yeah. So I take it granted. So coming into the business intelligence, right? As I said earlier, what is this business intelligence about? So let me give you an example. So early in 2000, in early 2000s, we have one common mega store available across India, say Big Bazaar, right? So the Big Bazaar, the owner of the Big Bazaar, maybe he had set up a kind of one branch or a couple of branches in Hyderabad location, per suppose, right? So one is in maybe in 2 different locations. They have set up the branch, and they just want to analyze the business, how it is, how the business is running, and whether I can go for any expansion, or whether I'm going in a right direction by by extracting the data from, by maintaining the data from different sources, and then whether am I operating the business in a right way or not. You just want to analyze the business. So keeping the data in the system is different than deriving some insights, right? So, and this is a one big mega store where the scale of data will be from medium size to large amount of data will be there. So for there, you may need to analyze the content there. For there, you may need to do some kind of extraction should be there. You may need to do some cleansing should be there. You may need to transform the data as well. A kind of ETL, you may need to do that. So what is the primary reason why you need to go for ETL here in the sense, you may never know how the data got stored in multiple sources in the respective business, right? So there will be some accounts department will be there. There will be some shipping department will be there. There will be some facilities department will be there. In another way related to that store, there are many storage units will be there. I mean to say different subject areas where they will be storing the data in different systems. You may never know. One will be there in the flat file. One will be there in a Pascal database or using Pascal. I think they are storing some data in a normal database. Maybe some they are using in some robust database technologies as well. You may never know, but you may need to derive some useful insights in sense you may need to extract the data from all these data sources, and then you may need to define a grain. I mean to say at some point, at some level, you may need to define the layer, and then you may need to store in a kind of a big database called warehouse, right? So for that, I think that ETL will help you in extracting the data sources. You may need to transform based on the requirements given by the business. You may need to transform them, and then you may need to load into a warehouse. So that's where that data marts comes into picture, where you may need to categorize the data into multiple dimensions and facts. So, but before I get into that, I believe who are all the target audience who is attending this session, right? I believe they have some good understanding on both the dimensions and fact tables. Can I take it granted, please? Hello, am I audible?
Sir.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Yeah. So can I take it granted saying that who are all attending this session, so they have some fine understanding on the dimensional
sir.
modeling?
Yes,
right?
sir. Already in chat box they're posting, sir. Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Then. So once this data got stored in the warehouse, right? So where you may need to, it all depends upon the requirement. So the architect or dimensional data modeler, so they will be defining this entire structure in multiple schemas that is available, say star schema, snowflake, or hybrid schemas as well, right? So they will define the schema there, and then from there, all these BA tools will consume the data from warehouse, and then from there, all the semantic layer, I mean to say the logical data model at the application level will be built, and followed by the base reporting, enterprise reporting, those dashboards as well. And from there also, so there are some enterprise tool where they can say they can go out to some extent, say, I mean to say the data mining features also can be enabled with some of the enterprise tools available in the market. We'll see that one as well in the later time. So from the insights, generated right from through these dashboards, then the business owner will be in a position so to take some decisions like, okay, so at in this particular region, this product is literally really performing well on the particular day. So take an example, right? In a normal store, normally, in a big bazaars or kind of any mega stores, right? So they will be offering a kind of discounts only on weekdays or particular weekday. They will be offering a kind of discount. So you just want to analyze the content there. How is my, how are my sales performing only on the discounted days? He just want to analyze the content against the complete data, which is holding a large amount of data they are presenting in the database. So you could do that extent just with a normal SQL itself. You could do that, but visually you may not to analyze the content. You will not be able to present it in a most comprehensive way. So most appealing way, you may need to present it to the business so that the business owner need to just look into the insight whatever you provided there. Then ideally, any insight whatever you provide, the business owner ideally they should not take more time. Hardly they should take 30 to 40 seconds, and then they should be drawing a kind of decision saying that yes, my business is really performing well, or it's not performing well, or moderately it is performing. So they should be able to draw some analysis just by looking into that given insight only for 30 to 40 seconds. So that is the key challenge or a key objective as a developer or a kind of specialist. We are entitled to do that. So that's how normally all the dashboards and insights will be developed using these available BI tools there. Okay, that is one key thing. Whoever is taking part in any kind of insight or developing a dashboard, so it should be a meaningful, and it should be easily, they should be able to interpret that. And as I said, a time frame of 30 to 40 seconds is the max time given for the business user there. I mean to say they don't invest much time there. So that's how your dashboards needs to be built. And from there, you will be, you should be given some privilege for them to do some self-service. So anyway, we'll be covering those contents in the later slides in the demo, please. Any questions until this point, please?
Sir, in chat box, yes, there are questions.
Oh, is it? Okay, 1 minute.
Yeah. Please help us to understand the application for data analytics in the banking sector.
1 minute. Yeah. So you mean a dimensional reduction? No, dimensional reduction is part of the data science. I mean to say, whatever the machine learning models you will be using for your analysis, mainly to draw some inferences, there you will be using that. But here, no. This is primarily intended to the descriptive analytics, where you may need to categorize the entire content. I mean to say the project data. You will be splitting that into the dimensions and the facts. So not every time people will go for particular schema. It can be a hybrid schema as well. It can be a semi-star schema or a semi-hybrid schema as well. So dimensional reduction is nowhere comes into the picture as of now. And what is the other questions being asked here? What tools are required to gather business insights in banking sector? It doesn't matter, right? You can make use of Excel as well, right? So, but ideally, if you see in the banking sector, right, the scaling of data will be very huge, right? So there are so many transactions will be there between the depositors, account holders, and also there will be loan accounts will be there. Retail banking will be there. Wholesale banking will be there. Corporate banking will be there. So there are many sectors comes under banking. The volume will be pretty huge. So considering that, even I don't think a Tableau will fit enough here, provided unless you as a developer, you are asked to develop some operational report in the sense. I mean to say a real-time reporting. If you want to do that, then you can make use of Tableau. But ideally, especially in the banking sectors, they, primarily their analysis will be primarily not only in the operational reporting, but also on the historical reporting as well. So for that, I think you may need to go for one enterprise tool here. But it's all depends upon the business request that comes to you. Yeah. Somebody's voice is breaking here. Sorry. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
I think
No
somebody is trying to ask some question, I believe.
Yes, it seems to be.
Okay, so we have any other questions posted there? 1 minute. What are the projects people work on the banking sector, right? So that's what, right? As I said, right, if you see the loan department, say classic example is the loan department where I personally worked there, where I started my career in First Indian Corporation is one of the real estate analytical suits where I have built there. So what is that? In the First American is one of the leading mortgage banking institution there, where I worked for a project called Home Price Index. There, he just want to analyze the sales there on a particular geography, how the real estate looks like across demographics. You may need to generate some useful insights. So as I said, right, there will be multiple divisions and multiple sections will be there under every banking sector. And even in the Standard Chartered is one of the banking sector, right? But still, I think currently I am working in HR analytics domain. HR analytics, one common thing, common section you will be seeing across the businesses. Even even in the KLU university, right, there will be some kind of HR section must be there, I believe, who is maintaining this entire payroll and the resourcing part, everything HR department must be taking part. So yeah, so it's all depends upon how many divisions currently, in the relative banking sector have. So they will be working in the relative provides there. Yeah. So in Standard Chartered, yes, I think we have around close to 45 analytics provides are, getting served for multiple subject areas there. Yeah. Any other questions, please?
No, sir. As of now, no.
Yeah, okay, fine then. I think somebody
sir,
asked
when-
for descriptive
when-
analytics, but still
Yes.
let me cover that one through demos, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine then. So getting into that one, right? So let me go back to the presentation here. Yeah, so before we get into the actual demos, I just want to quickly see the differences between what is this business intelligence about and what is this data science about. And today, as I'm covering the business intelligence, I just highlighted this in a yellow color here. So if you see the factors wise, I have just categorized that. So this is personally, based out of my experience, I have just some of the content. So if you have any clarifications on any other factors, maybe you can post here, but let me try to answer them as well. So if you see, starting with the concept, right, primarily this data science is comprised of this, the skill sets where you may need to carry is mathematics, statistics, and various tools where you may need to discover hidden patterns. As I said in the slide, predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics will be taking part primarily into this data science, and also in the diagnostic analytics as well, partly. Yeah. And if you see in the business intelligence, it's primarily comprised of multiple technologies and applications with defined processes where you may need to use to define some enterprise data analytics there. So primarily, as I said, this is primarily for descriptive analytics and partly on the diagnostic analytics as well. And as I said, right, this is a focus on and the historical data and the current data primarily will be there in the business intelligence. And based on that, until some extent, even the BA tools can predict some data, but still thorough data validation needs to be done from the data science team as well. So, but whereas in the case of data science, primarily they are emphasized to focus on the relative skill sets as well. So where they may need to discover the hidden trends, how the future looks like, what would happen in the later time. So those things, normally those scenarios will be covered in the data science there. And as I said, right, so the data part, ultimately when you are into analytics, whether you are into business intelligence or in the data science, right, so mainly always will deals with the data. So if you come into the business intelligence, as I said, though the data is presenting in multiple sources, right, so but ideally you may need to properly structure there, you may need to predefine the entire structure there, and then you may need to come up with a kind of warehouse properly organized, and then from there you may need to consume the data, and then you may need to generate the insights. But whereas in the data science, right, so data can be a structured one and it can be unstructured one, and semi-structured as well. So you may never know when you are working in some structured database, all of a sudden you will be given a requirement to also blend with the structured data on the some unstructured data or semi-structured data, where you may need to extract some data directly from the social site. You may never know how the structure looks like. Sometimes you may need to extract some of the images as well, where you may need to interpret that, where you may need to use some NLP processors as well, and you may need to bring it to a common layer, and then you may need to generate some insight. So data science primarily deals with both structured and unstructured data sources, but business intelligence always primarily on the structured data sources itself. And as I said, right, I think you will be using all the machine learning techniques and algorithms, that is all scientific methods you will be using in the data science. But whereas here you will be using some analytics methods, say you will be using the star schema, snowflake schema, and building the data model. From there you will be using some OLAP tools available in the market like MicroStrategy, Tableau, Power BI, Cognos. These are all the most commonly used analytical tools available in the market for your analysis. So if you see the complexity, yes, I think when compared to the data science, it will be much simpler. And these are the multiple tools available in the market that will support both data science and the business intelligence here. Okay. So with this, I believe we have got some fine understanding what is this business intelligence is about, and what are the different tools available in the market. From there, I have taken here in today's session, I have taken MicroStrategy and Tableau for our demo purpose, and let me try to give you some understanding, hands-on experience, and I will make sure. So you please stop me if I'm going wrong. I mean, say fast so that I can go slow as well. So can I go ahead with the actual demo, please?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Yeah. So, but before that one itself, I just want to, show you the architecture of MicroStrategy, which will give you some useful insight how even the Tableau will perform on the relative features what MicroStrategy is offering here. In that way, I think you don't need to go for a separate. Is requesting to annotate the shared content.
Sir, you please decline, sir.
Okay, but anyway, post this presentation, I think this content will be ready available in the social media. I mean, say in the Google itself, but still I will share this content. But the most important thing will be the capstone project and the relative recommendations and the kind of links what we'll be sharing, so that definitely will be helping you there. Okay, so so coming into the so the business intelligence architecture, right? Sorry. So it just it resembles the normal BA architecture itself. But what stands MicroStrategy in the market in the leading enterprise tool when compared to another BA tool? Maybe I'll try to give you some quick understanding here. So in the bottom section, you are seeing the different the data sources where people will be doing a sort of extraction, transformation, loading, every other data modeling part where the data being expected from different golden sources. Every other things will be handled directly at the warehouse level itself. From there, this enterprise reporting tools will consume the data. From there, all these functionalities can be enabled using this MicroStrategy. Starting with rich design and environment, right? So if you these are the multiple DA development tools available in MicroStrategy, where I will be giving you a quick walkthrough so that you will get some understanding there. And from then, if you see the second section, that is deploy and manage. So normally in analytics, right, and especially in the business intelligence, so you will be having development team will be there. You will be having the testing team, and user acceptance team will be there. And once the thoroughly data gets tested, and once it certifies, then the data will be deployed to production. So even deployment, we have multiple tools available that comes directly with MSTR package here. And from there, you will be seeing, end user will be seeing the exact, I mean, say actual content. That's what he is requested for. So you will be seeing the content in multiple ways, and receiving the content in multiple ways as well. So starting with mobile applications, people can see the data, they see their relative insight directly from the mobile devices itself or the tabs itself. And the dashboards and scorecards, anyway, those things directly will be directly publishing into the web server. And the transactional apps will be there, where end user is entitled to read and write the data as well. I mean to say, there are some transactions where there are some reports where they just may need to view the content, and then they can give give their inputs, and then they can submit the data. Again, the submitted data will be directly stored in the warehouse as well, or directly at the warehouse level or at the application level logical tables as well. So that is what the transactional data is about. And so the perfect example is survey. Once in a year, normally in the banking or in every other companies, a survey will be happen. I mean to say, will be will be happening, like employees will be providing their feedback against the organization as well as against the line manager as well. So this entire system is getting managed through the transactional apps itself. So, and next one is web-based reporting tool. As I said, whatever the dashboards you develop in desktop, those directly will be published into the web server there. And that's where user will be doing a kind of self-service there. And we have compatibility, in exporting the files to all the Microsoft Office tools there. And especially in MicroStrategy, you can do some development activity. You can generate some insights directly from the Microsoft applications itself, directly from Office. You can directly get connected to the MicroStrategy, and then you can generate some insights there. That is the only option available only in the MicroStrategy when compared to any other reporting tool there. But exporting options, anyway, it's a common feature, will be enabled. But getting connected directly from the MS Office tools to MicroStrategy, I don't think any other BA tool offering that feature there. And alerting and narrowcasting, and this is one common thing, in the present analytics world. You see, everybody is holding the mobiles where you are getting some lot of alert devices, right? So for suppose, the staff of staff of every, we are the staff of employees of Standard Chartered. In every organization, people will be getting a salary on maybe on first day of the particular month, or last day of that particular month. In the sense, whenever the salary get credited, right, you are getting a kind of alerts, right? And for suppose, especially in the banking, when your credit limit is completed, you will be getting a kind of alert. So all these alerting mechanisms you can manage through thresholds directly into the MXTR platform itself. And this can handle until any extent. So that is one, the strong feature, I would say, is literally available in MSTR when compared to any other enterprise tool available in the markets there. And lastly, in the data visualization, yes, I think earlier in MicroStrategy, earlier versions, they don't have a dedicated visualization desktop tool ready available. But seeing the competitors like Power BI, Tableau especially, so even MicroStrategy, they have introduced a visualization tool. So people, they are making use aggressively, mainly for their analysis. But when compared to the Tableau, I think still, I would say, it is underrated when compared to the Tableau. But anyway, we'll try to give you, let me get into the actual demo first. And I'll show you some of the content, whatever it is getting covered in multiple features, what MicroStrategy is offering now. I'll try to show that first, and then we'll get into the Tableau, please. Clear? Any questions, please? Okay, I take it granted. So coming into the MicroStrategy, as I said, right, in any BA tool, if you see, as of now, I could see multiple target audiences. All the those are all, everybody is aspirated to get into analytics, where you will be taking part as a kind of architect or a developer or a kind of administrator, right? And for suppose everyone has to take part in any of one of the role currently in BA offers, right? So as I said, primarily there will be architect will be there. There will be designer or developer will be there. One will be kind of administrator. These are the primary three key roles where in every analytics field, whatever you do, right? So this will fall under three primary roles. And how people will be using, performing their roles in the respective BA tool, maybe I'll try to cover now. So first, let me open the MicroStrategy here. Yeah, so let me show you the MicroStrategy desktop tool. So this is the developer tool, so where all your 90% of BA activities will be done directly in the desktop developer tool itself. So I mean to say, as I said, right, different roles will be there, but everyone one common interface where people can make use of this developer tool, and then they can perform their relevant activities here. So here in this left hand side, you are seeing a kind of folder structure kind of thing, where the first one, MicroStrategy Analytics module,
One
is
sir.
we called. Sorry.
Sorry to disturb you. I think a screen have not been shared properly, sir. It's a blank screen.
Sorry. Yes, that's correct. 1 minute. That's correct.
Mostly you need to share the entire screen, sir. In the initial
Correct.
select screen. Yes, sir.
Correct. 1 minute.
Yeah.
Now you're able to see my screen, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So as I said, right, first this MicroStrategy developer is front-end report development tool where all your 90 to 95% of activities can be taken part here itself. So if you see, the first one is the project source, where you can define n number of projects under a project source, and you, I think you know about metadata, right? So the data about any project data will be stored in the metadata. So every project source will have only one metadata. Under a project source, you can define n number of projects. For suppose here you are seeing 2 projects, and human resource analytics module and MicroStrategy tutorial. These are the 2 default tutorial project that comes along with the MicroStrategy package. That is the advantage given for the enthusiastic students who can learn the subject here. So just today I'm hearing using MicroStrategy tutorial. This is one of the project set up under this analytics module. So any number of projects you define under a project source, you will be able to see the entire data related to the metadata you will be seeing under analytics module metadata. I think somebody is asking one question here. 1 minute. Prescriptive analytics helps students deciding which tools and techniques to apply on data for good results. Microstrategy analytics is open sourced. I don't say it's a kind of open source tool there, but I will let you know what are the alternate options you have. But whatever the option currently, whatever I am showing now, I think that comes with enterprise tool where you are not entitled to download. So, but alternatively, you have a workstation where you can download the content, and you can happily proceed ahead with your actual project development there. I'll show you that one, please. Yeah. So now, if you see, so let me get into the actual tutorial project. This is how a project looks like. In MicroStrategy, whatever you create, that will be considered as a kind of object, right? So and you are seeing the both public objects and schema objects. A public object is primarily meant for all the application developers, and a schema object is primarily entitled for the architects. So explicitly, for suppose you have a let me show you the, what are the if you see the warehouse architecture, right? I mean, business intelligence architecture, until the warehouse gets created, all the data that comes from golden sources will be extracted, will be transformed and then loaded into warehouse. And in the warehouse, it will be created in the form of multiple dimensions and fact tables, right? So that's what we discussed earlier, right? And those tables are completely appearing in the tables now. And these are all the logical tables. And but ideally, you will be seeing the same physical structure. You will be seeing currently whatever it is there in the warehouse. You will be seeing the same structure here. And why MicroStrategy will consider this as a kind of logical table is that based on this physical table, we will be defining some attributes, facts, and then we'll establish a relationships as well. When you define a relationship, so then automatically the table will be considered a kind of logical table. So if you see, currently we are in logical view where shipper is one of the attribute defined against the table. 1 minute. So this is the LU shipper table is the physical table created. Warehouse table, you are seeing that, right? Against the table, we have defined a kind of attribute called shipper. And if you go to the physical view, normally in the physical view, you will be seeing the both ID from descriptions on the date form as well, right? So here, ideally, you are seeing the IDs and description forms as well, along with the surrogate keys. So mainly we'll be using for joining purposes there. So I think you guys are so good understanding on the dimensional schemas and the surrogate keys as well. So I don't want to repeat the content there one more time. So this is how logical tables looks like. So which is the exact replica of the physical tables available in the warehouse. And so these are the base objects, very first base object. If you really want to start any project, this is the very first object you may need to extract. From there, you may need to define the actual schema objects like attributes. So we have multiple, hierarchies we have. Say, geography hierarchy, you have this many attributes well defined already available. And similarly, the same case with customers, products, and promotions and time hierarchy as well. And you have this time dimension as well here. these are the multiple defined attributes already defined. But still, I'll show you how a normally attribute will be created quickly, mainly for your understanding here, please. So I'm just creating. I don't want to say, but still I'll try to create that. So this is how an attribute editor looks like. As I said, whatever you create in MicroStrategy, that will be considered as an object, and each and every other object will have a kind of editor will be there. So it will be kind of very user-friendly tool where you just may need to refer the actual available content, and then you may need to define your logical schema there. So here I am just want to define a lookup attribute called country. Ideally, country is an attribute. It's not. It's a discrete column where all the description forms will be ready available in the respective lookup table. So I will go for so a country here, and here I will have both ID forms and the description forms. And also you are seeing other description forms of the relative countries as well. So there are requirements where the report results should be displayed in the respective language as well. For that, you will use a country ID itself, but rather than taking employee name, country name, you just may need to take the relative country description came, and then you may need to report against that, please. So yeah, if not, that's how, right? Entire data you may need to map it against the physical warehouse, and then accordingly you may need to build a logical schema there. So I'm just defining the country ID here against the lookup table country, and so this is one form. I'm just creating that, and here you could see the mapping table as well, and the format type itself you can easily define there. What is the type of the variable there, and how you want to display the values directly from the editor itself. You can display the sorting order as well. So I'm just creating the actual ID here. Similarly, I'll be creating the description forms as well. I will show you what is the primary what is the key thing ideally to be considered in the report content. The description form is the key thing to be presented in the report template there. So the description form is very important here. So I'm just creating a country name here, and it will be text format itself, and you are seeing the combination of both ID forms and the description form of the respective attribute called country. So one last thing, and here itself, you can define any parent and child attributes as well. So if you see, in the geography hierarchy, if you see country is the topmost attribute, will be considered a kind of parent attribute, where under that, all these states, cities, so you'll be considered as a child attributes. Here you can establish the relationship here. Mainly relationships will be established if you want to see your report content at multiple levels. You just want to see your report results at different levels. So ideally, there should be a kind of relationship be there. It can be a direct relationship or it can be indirect relationship as well. I will show you the indirect relationship as well in the later demo, please. Okay. So as of now, I'm just not saving any other content. Why? Because already we have predefined attributes ready available. And one important thing you are seeing in the display form is by default display form every time will be the description forms only. The reason why I'll tell you. So let me open one, though it looks pretty, lowest level or kind of fundamental I am covering here, but this is quite important for you. This applies to both MicroStrategy as well as Tableau or any other BA tool. So please bear with me. Okay. So if you see, right, if I just put salary, right, if I put salary, right, $3,000, I just put like $3,000. So what is the insight? Are you deriving any insight out of this result set? No, right? So salary in the sense to whom I would say you are showing the salary at what level, whether it is an employee salary or it is a kind of department salary, or it can be a kind of particular relative category dimensional salary you are showing. There is no proper meaning set to this result set, right? Unless you define some attribute here, it will not bring any meaningful to the result set given shared there. So if I say employee, right, employee ID and employee name. So employee ID will be 101 and employee ID will be Krishna. then this is giving some useful information saying that yes, the Krishna's salary is $3,000, right? So if you see from this content, you can correlate the available objects in MicroStrategy. So employee ID and employee name, these two are two description forms available from the employee attribute, and whereas in the salary, this is an aggregated value. So I will come into that in the later time now. But ideally, as I said, unless you show the, so even if you see, if you don't show the Krishna's name, then it, so still it will be meaningless, right? You may never know what is this ID is about. You have to display the actual description form of the relative metric, then that will be useful information from the business user. So that's where the descriptive analytics is about. You need to show the description forms in the report template mainly for the analysis purpose. That is the key fundamental you may need to keep in mind. So IDs will not work. IDs primarily used for joining purpose. You may need to relate the data from multiple tables. These ID columns will be helpful for you, but ideally description forms are mandatory in the report content. Okay, so this is just this is how normally attributes will be created. Similarly, even the facts, you have multiple facts. These are the basic measures will be presented in the respective tables. Again, with these measures, you will be creating the actual metrics, right? So rather than getting into the the objects, I just want to give you one small SQL statement so that I'll try to relate the each and every other object to the SQL so that we can directly get into the actual reporting design, please. Okay. So I just want to see the yearly regional sales at a particular year level where category is equal to electronics. So I'll write a statement like 1 minute. Select year, comma, region. Select year, comma, region, comma, sum of sales from lookup table, from any table name. Anyway, just leave the table names now for now. From table name, where category is equal to electronics, group by year, comma, region. This is a simple select statement, right? Here, I will try to relate the objects, whatever you may need to define to generate this result set in MicroStrategy. I'll quickly try to cover the content here. So can someone tell me, what is year and region is about? Am I audible, please?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yeah, can someone tell me what is this year and region fields about in MicroStrategy or any other BI tool? Just now we have covered, right? What is this year and region fields are about? I believe we have participants, right?
Yes, sir, they are posting the answers in the chat box, sir.
Oh, is it? Sorry.
So, few members they had given as the yearly sales,
Correct.
time
Correct.
dimension.
Perfect. Sorry.
One
It's
more
my
answer is
mistake.
time
Yeah, that's correct.
dimension. Yes.
Correct. Attributes are the perfect, is the correct answer. Year and region are the attributes. Those are all considered as a non-aggregated columns. That's what you are seeing, those non-aggregated columns in the group by class. Perfect. Now, sum of sales is there. Can anybody tell me what is this sales about? Inside the aggregation function, you are seeing the sales. What is this sales about? You just don't need to correlate the functionalities of MicroStrategy here. Generally tell me, what is this sales about? Sales is a measure, right? So if you cannot simply, straight away, you cannot drag and drop the sales in a report, right? It's perfect. This is a measure, right? So, but ideally, unless you use some aggregation function on the measure, it will not generate some result set, some meaningful result set. It won't generate. So that's where the sum of sales will will give the aggregated values at particular region or the combination of year and regional level. So sum of sales, you will be considered that as a kind of metric. But whereas sales is a measure, you need to keep in mind, this is very important thing. Measures you cannot directly keep in the actual reporting content. Similarly, just in the SQL, you cannot simply write sales, right? If you put the sales, will it show the actual result content? I don't think so. So you may need to keep the aggregated function there, which will be considered as a metric, and then followed by table name, that is a logical table name. And category is equal to sales is nothing but a kind of filter. It's a where class condition. Whatever the condition you place in the where class, that will be considered as a kind of filter. So these are all multiple attributes or multiple objects you may need to define in MicroStrategy before you directly go to the actual report content. So I don't want to cover each and every other object now, but rather I will directly get into the report content first, so that I think this will be quite helpful for you in the later time, please. Okay. So I'm just getting into the report now, and then I will make use of the available objects, well-defined, predefined objects ready available in this tutorial. So these are all the multiple templates we have. I'm just using some blank report template I'm using here. Yeah, sure. This is the report template. So template is nothing but you need to have attributes and metrics along with the filter to be printed. That's what the template is about. So I'm just taking a couple of attributes here. Say, so just I'm just want to see the year here, and I just want to see the regional revenue at a particular year. I just want to see that. So I'm just getting the actual metrics now, and I'm seeing the metric here. And also I just want to define a kind of filter here, saying that and drag and drop, I will filter only on the category. I just want to show the electronics and movies. I will apply some qualification here, and this is the filter looks like. So this is called actually the report template. So template comprises of attributes, metrics, and the filter, and here you will be able to see the exact record content here. And MicroStrategy comes with different flexible options. You need to make sure at the end of the day, I mean to say, as a developer, once you design all your objects, once your report is ready available, you cannot take it granted saying that yes, this report is the exact content. You may need to validate the content there. You need to make sure the results are exactly matching with the physical tables appearing in the warehouse as well. For that, this MicroStrategy comes with a different view, so-called Sql View is there. So here, if you see, you can get into the Sql View, and here you'll be able to see the content here. I think this is by default. MicroStrategy is taking from available cubes, but ideally you will be able to see the table names as well. Say, for suppose, let me disable the cubes here so that you will get. How normally SQL will be generated is it will fetch from the corresponding lookup tables and the fact tables as well, and you will be able to see the entire content there. So for suppose if you see the year attribute, you just want to see where exactly this year is coming from, so you will be able to see the SQL here. So LU year is a lookup table where the ID form has been well defined. Year normally will have any description forms, so it will be having only ID forms. Similarly, if you see for uh, you know so for suppose I just want to see the month attribute, so you will be able to see the exact month. LU coming from LU month, where month will have both ID forms and the description forms. Similarly, for your entire report content, you will be able to see all the lookup tables and the fact tables, and also you will be seeing the joins as well. So since as a developer, you will be working closely with the architect, you will come to know saying that how the data model looks like, how the relationships are established between the attributes and the facts as well. Then accordingly, you will be building the report, and then you will be looking into the SQL statement, whether these joins are properly happening or not, whether you are getting the aggregated content in a meaningful way or not. That's how you will already validate the data, and then you will assure saying that result set is absolutely 100% correct, which is matching the values against the physical warehouse as well. So this is how normally unit testing as part of data validation you will be performing there. So normally this is how normally, simple base report. I just created a base report itself, and let me show you different now suppose, right, now this is how a normal reports will be built in MicroStrategy desktop, and from here you may need to publish directly onto the server, right? So here, since this is an integrated architecture, you don't need to publish anywhere. Just you may need to save the report content, and somewhere in the public objects, where you have multiple folders created here, like subject areas and daily analysis, multiple folders being created, and this is where all the reports being saved, right? So once every other report gets saved in the respective folders, now as an end user, so as a developer, as an architect, you have performed your duties, and then you would just you just want to deploy this content to the web users, right? So how normally web users will log into the web server? Let me try to show you now. So as I said, right, so now we are into a MicroStrategy tutorial project where you may need to, this is how normally end user will a web browser looks like, and then you end user, they may need to enter their credentials here first, and then this is how the same screen, even in the current project, currently what I am working now, across the globe, whoever they are using MicroStrategy, the same reporting interface in the web platform will be appearing there. So now I get into the shared reports, and these are all multiple folders will appear in the web server. So for suppose I just want to see some of the reports like human resource analysis. I just want to see the call center analysis. So these are the predefined template report ready and available. Let's see how it appears, in the from end user's perspective. How normally end user will do the self-service, we'll see that one as well now. So in the meanwhile, let me open any other report as well, mainly for analysis. So so here in this one of the report, before executing the results, right, you are seeing an option where end user is being asked to share the result set whatever he is looking out for. So for suppose he will be given a privilege to make the selections in the runtime itself. So it is asking which time period selection you just want to look out for. So by default, 2016 quarter three being selected here, and you can also include some of the other selections as well, and then you can run the report here. Some problem more than selections. I think here there is a restriction where only one element you may need to select. Accordingly, rules has been set here. So I'm just running the report now. And this is you will be calling this as a kind of prompted report. So that means you will be applying the filter in the runtime. So what is the benefit you will be carrying out of this prompted report is a single report is providing assistance or a kind of providing insight for multiple users. That is what this MicroStrategy is about. That's the beauty about MicroStrategy. So one single user report can answer multiple user requests through these runtime filters. So here you have selected Q3 of 2016. You are seeing the content here. From here, I just want to see. I just want to do some analysis, as I said earlier, right? So if you have direct or indirect relationships, you will be able to see the data at much granular levels or much higher levels as well. Now from call center, I just want to go to regional level as well. So how you will go?
గేమ్ అనేది చూస్తాను గేమ్ మధ్యలో దిగేసాను ఆ గేమ్ లో పాడుకో
Hello, is that question to me, or if not, can you please mute, please? Yeah, thank you. So in the call center, I'm just drilling, and I'm just drilling at the country level. So from the existing report itself, you will be able to drill. I mean to say, you can drill up to the top level as well. Since where is that? So you will be able to see the relative country as well. You are able to see within the report itself. So that is the drill down and drill up options. This is one of the functionality normally every other BI tool will be providing here. So here, we have multiple formatting options also available. I just don't want to cover those content here. So this is what one of the prompted report. Similarly, if you see, this is one of the static report filter you have, where the timelines of the relative call center, you are able to see that now. So these are all normally considered as a kind of base reports. And if you want to take it to next level, I will see the next level. That's what is the documents about. So if you see, these are all this is how a normal dashboard looks like, or a kind of document looks like, where here you will be using multiple graphs and widgets, and also multiple grids and graph reports. You will be combination of reports you will be using, and then you may need to organize this in a one big template with a defined selectors will be there. Say, if you want to make some selections, right? So this is what the self-service is about. End users will pitch in, and then they will make their selections of their own, and then they will be able to see some analysis as well. So these things will be considered as kind of selectors, which is a common feature you will be seeing across the BA tools. Right. So these are all different readily available dashboards that comes with the MicroStrategy platform. And this is about documents. So in our earlier slide, I have clearly shown, right, MicroStrategy by looking into the Tableau. So even MicroStrategy had come up with one visualization tool called as dossiers. I will share you some of the examples. Directly from the MicroStrategy library, I will try to show you what are the predefined dossiers readily available there, so that you will get to know how the dossiers looks like, what are the visualization capabilities we have. Those things you'll be able to see that. So if you see key customers analysis, and just so using this data visualization tool that comes with MicroStrategy. So I think this is the backgrounds and the multiple features being used to display the entire content here. So whether this entire content where business user will be able to draw some insight within 30 to 40 seconds is not, that's where this challenge is about. So here you could see 30% of population, and out of 80% of 30% of your pivotal customers drive this entire 80% of sales in the last 1 year. And you can see the trend as well, and what is going on, where did they go. These are the titles relevant. It should be a kind of storytelling for you, right? That's how a normally dashboard should build like. And this is very small dashboard that is built based on the dossiers here. So when you go back, right, let me try to give you one realistic example. Slide itself I have seen. Yeah, if you see the HR dossier, right? As I said, HR is one common dimension, common team you will be seeing across the companies. So here you will be seeing the attrition percentages. You just want to go for analysis here. If you go right, so here you will be showing the headcount analysis, and how many applicants are there, how the resourcing dashboard looks like when a new joiner, I would say when somebody applies for a position, how their workflow looks like, whether who is the interviewee, who is the application, and what is the title they have applied for, what is the status of the current JR, job requisition, and the time, location, everything they will be able to see some insight here. and you are able to see some aggregated measures as well in the below sections here. So so these are all, these are all the possible features currently whatever we have in MicroStrategy. And as I said, if you mainly, anyway, I will be covering one of the slides before you decide a BA tool, which BA tool to be used for your respective project. So, but ideally, there are key factors will be considered before we go for the BA tool. Anyway, I'll be covering that in the later time. Okay. So let me try to give you quick understanding on the dossiers, which is a default visualization feature that comes with MicroStrategy now. So again, I'm going back. I'm just creating one of the dossier now with the predefined objects ready available in MicroStrategy. So for suppose I will first I'm with a defined well-defined objects, and I'm just pulling all the available attributes. I'm just building a data set now. So so that just you are preparing a data set first. So I'm just keeping the relevant dimensions, relative attributes now, and along with the attributes, ideally you should have metrics as well. So I'm just keeping a profit margin, revenue. Since I am aware of this MicroStrategy schema, so which are all the tables are related, what level of grain is ready available at a particular dimensions, what I am placing now. So I'm able to confidently, pull in now. But ideally, as a newcomer, I mean, say as a new developer or architect, ideally you should get some fine understanding in the data first. So for that, you need to go to the database. You need to look into refer each and every other dimension and fact tables, how they have structured first. From there, you need to get some business understanding first. From there, you need to build the data model at the application level. That is called a logical data model. But before that, though business analyst will be there in the organization normally, they will be giving you some project descriptions. But ideally, if you want to understand the data related to the business, the best practice is you may need to get into the database first. That's where you may need to do some self-service by writing some queries again as the backend, and that's where you may need to draw some inferences there. That's how normally you should understand the data first. So here I am building the data set now. So this is how a data set looks like. I just want to I'll try to build quickly one dashboard with multiple visualizations here. Say I just want to see. So just want to see the regional revenue. I just want to show that in Sunburst. So this is giving very less value. So definitely it makes sense to pull in countries as well. So if you pull in country, right? So still you are seeing some less values as well, but let me get into the categories as well. If you put into categories, now you are able to see it kind of, this is one of the visualization called Sunburst visualization, where you will be able to distribute the entire content across the dimensions whatever we have placed. So if you see, for this one, if somebody want to write just want to validate the data instance, just may need to write some basic SQL against your backend. You may need to validate the result set. Say select year, country, category from sum of revenue. Since we don't have any where class condition, it will be grouped by at year, country, category, provided you have all the data readily available only one table. But since we are into Snowflake schema, definitely you will be having multiple lookup tables will be tagged to the parent and child tables. So definitely join those comes into picture here. So this is one of the visualization just now we created. Now I'll just mark this as a kind of yearly sales. I just want to see that, and I will create one more data set now. And here I just want to see, quarterly revenue. I just want to see that. And here I just want to use some of the data science functionalities as well, for suppose. So here just to go to the trend graph here, and let me expand this one now first for your review here. and you can go to the presentation view. So if you see, this is how the trend looks like, and across the quarter, this is how the revenue looks like at a particular quarter. Now let me come out of this one. Now I am coming back to the design view now. Here, if you see, I just want to enable some trend line, and also I just want to see how my sales revenue looks like in the next 2 years, say per suppose, or next 2 quarters. As of now, we are showing the content until Q4 of 2014, but I just want to enable like 2015 and 2015 quarter 1 and 2015 quarter 2 also you want to display, but you don't have the values ready available in your data set. That's where MicroStrategy comes with built-in features, built-in data science features, where that doesn't mean you may need to take it granted, but this is the option literally MicroStrategy is providing, just like any other Microsoft products, right? So let me get into the functionality, how you may need to enable that. So let me go to the filter format here, and let me go to the trend lines here. And if you enable the trend line, you'll be able to see how the trend line looks like. And mainly for the data science enthusiast, a full stack of roles are there, comes under data science, who is ideally taking part in development or data analytics or in the business analytics. They will be able to understand what is this trend line is about. And what I'm going to enable is forecasting. I just want to enable the forecasting, how it looks like for the next 2 quarters. So since your x-axis is holding the data until Q3 of 2014, I just want to enable the how the forecasting looks like for the next 2 quarters. So you could see those additional values as well. So the values, though values are not presenting, but still you are able to see the next futuristic values as well. That's what the prediction analytics is about, right? But still you should not consider MicroStrategy as a kind of one of the data science tool you can make use. But this is the, until some extent, MicroStrategy will provide these functionalities, but still you may need to cross verify against the algorithms or machine learning models, whatever you are using, right? You may need to cross verify as part of data validation. That is a very important thing. And you will be seeing all these data science machine learning models related metrics, whatever you are seeing, right? The characteristics of multiple distributions and R square, adjusted R square. So these are all most commonly used functionalities. The KPIs, mainly for their analysis, people will be using this one. And this is what analysis being made against the data science labels or kind of features directly enabled directly with the dossiers. So in that way, you can play around all these options, and I will show you at the end of the session. I will show you how to download the MicroStrategy workstation so that you can directly get into the dossiers itself, and directly you can play around against your physical warehouse schema that is present in as form of tables there. Clear? And this is one visualization, I would say, and this is a kind of what you would say, so you would become forecast analysis. So now again, I'm going back. So so we have multiple visualizations, right? So how we'll do that? We have built other visualizations as well, right? So this is one additional. Additionally, you can build one more visualization separately. So I think, okay, it is there. That's it is happening. Sorry. So let me remove some of the visualizations. Just you may need to do some indentation here. I mean to say, you may need to adjust all these multiple reports currently appear in the screen. You may need to play around all these options, and then you may need to keep it one after the other or one beside the other as well. And then you may need to include one dashboard title. Accordingly, you may need to design your dashboards. You can also include some of the filtering content as well. And the same filtering options will be enabled across all other data sets as well. So just play around all these options. You will be able to quickly do some analysis there. Okay. So with this, I think I tried myself to cover some of the content what you could do using MicroStrategy features, especially the workstation. I will give you the link where you could download so that directly you can use the dossiers and then you can build your own reports. Mostly you will be given the MicroStrategy tutorial for your learning purpose. If not, you may need to get some warehouse content. I mean, so you may need to get your project data and then you may need to play around against your project data there. Okay. So any questions, please? I believe there are multiple questions. If not, I think we'll get into Tableau quickly, please. Okay, so I don't have any questions now. Can I get into Tableau, please, now?
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah. So so again, I'm going back to the slide here. So if you see, right, these are all multiple functionalities normally BA tools will provide. I'm just looking into the top section, the reporting section, right? So if you see in the report section, mobile applications are there, dashboard, scorecards, transaction labs, web-based reporting model, Microsoft Office interface, alerting, data visualization. These are all the common enterprise reporting features. But whether Tableau is providing these functionalities or not, let me try to give you some understanding here. So as I said, Tableau is one of the most leading data visualization tool available in the market. Mainly for data science aspirants, who is getting into the data science, they are primarily using Tableau itself, mainly for their analysis purpose. So data visualization, I would say I would rate 9 out of 10 when compared to the Tableau and MicroStrategy. And MicroStrategy, I would rate around 7 or 6 or 7. That's it. And this comes with a wide variety of visualizations with pixel perfect graphics. So Tableau is much better when compared to the MicroStrategy, especially in the rich, appealing visualization perspective. And alerting, I think we don't have any alerting mechanism directly enabled in the Tableau infrastructure, Tableau architecture. And yes, even Tableau can export the content to Excel and PPT as well. And but you cannot directly operate directly. You cannot get connected from the Office to Tableau. That feature is not there. But yes, I think it will support all the Microsoft products. And web-based reporting tool, yes, that's correct. So end users will directly get into the web server and then they can do some self-service there. But not in a complete extent. In MicroStrategy, end users will be given privilege to create their own reports, but in Tableau, no. I think we hardly have that privilege. So since it's a workbook basis, I think extracts will not be shared to the end users. So anyway, I will show you what is this extract is about. You will come to know anyway. And transactional reporting is not possible in Tableau as well. And dashboarding scorecards, yes, I think in much better manner you could do that. And even in the mobile applications, even the mobile compatibility, you have it in Tableau as well. So I would say, Tableau you should not consider as a kind of enterprise BA tool. It's purely limited to the data visualization. Two primary things. One is on the enterprise reporting. In terms of scalability, you cannot consider Tableau at all. Until some extent, you can consider the data and then you could do some reporting. Post which, if you extend some the threshold, right? I mean to say it can handle only 20 of GB of data per suppose instance. If you cross that, then you will be seeing some performance issues where end users, while doing some self-service through slicing and dicing, it takes some good amount of time in, especially the rendering time will be pretty huge. But ideally, that really matters for the end users, right? So that is very, very important. So that's what, in the scalability perspective, Tableau is way down than MicroStrategy. So that is one thing. But visualization perspective, yes, I think definitely you may need to consider the data in mind, the amount of data what you are working on. From there, you can play around all the visualizations ready available there, and then you can do some pixel per dashboard where you can build that in Tableau directly. So let's quickly get into the Tableau now. And I believe, I think one advantage, one key advantage for all the students, right? is this license is where you can get the 1 year free license for all the students directly from the Tableau site itself, where you just may need to enroll with your college ID, right? You will be given one ID, right? You may need to scan that, and then you may need to upload, so that you will be getting 1 year subscription will be there. Even whatever the version license I am showing now, even I have taken it from one of my cousin's daughter as well. So now you are able to see my screen, right? So now I am into Tableau desktop, where just like MicroStrategy, where we were using this MicroStrategy tutorial data, which comes by default with the package. Similarly in Tableau, here also you will be seeing some superstore sample data set, which comprise of it's a real estate, I mean say it's a retail store data set that comes with Tableau software. So anyway, this will be widely being used even in the training demos as well. That's the advantage you have it in Tableau. If you get into the Tableau site, if you go to the learning portal, you have all the available content. If you want to seek some, if you want to understand the functionalities, if you want to have some hands-on experience directly, you can get into that, and then you can do you can develop, you can learn all the development features there. And if you attend all the Tableau training available in the videos in the learning platform, you are entitled to go for Tableau desktop analyst certification as well. So but as of now, I'll quickly try to cover some of the, I'll try to design some of the visualizations now, and also I'll try to cover you some of the useful features here. So let me try to give you some basic how the dashboard will be built here, and what is this worksheet is about, and what is this dashboard is about, and followed by some user stories also you can build here. So let me get into the one sheet here. So here I will take, like, I will take the location here. I just simply drag and drop the region attribute here. But before that, sorry, let me get into that. But before that, let me get into the how normally in MicroStrategy we have seen, right, how normally you will import the physical warehouse tables that will be considered as a logical table in MicroStrategy. Similarly in Tableau here, as I said, Superstore retail, I think this is a predefined package that comes with Tableau software, will be considered as a kind of database being used here. And if you want to analyze the content directly, you can go to that, and then you can edit that. Right click, if you edit the store, you will be able to see that. So this is how the table structure looks like, and given with sample data as well. And above, you'll be able to see how the multiple data sets are relationships are established between multiple tables here. Say orders table is a fact table, and people and returns are multiple dimensions you can consider. And how the relationships are established here, you can see the relation here as well. And here in the connection types you are seeing, right, this live and extract is a live connection. When you are dealing with only hardly below 10 MB of data or 5 MB of data, there is directly you can go for live connection itself. So that will help you to have a real-time reporting. As I said, operational reporting is nothing but real-time reporting, where you will be dealing with the data readily available in the production. But whereas in the working the extract, right, I mean to say, when you are dealing with huge humongous volumes of data, in the sense, then it is better you need to extract the content first, and then on top of it you may need to work on the dashboarding. So normally companies will be having some frequency of reports will be there. So there will be monthly reports will be there, there will be fortnightly reports will be there, there will be weekly reports as well will be there. For those reports, normally we'll go with extracts, but all the real-time reporting will prefer to go for live connection itself. So this is one important thing. And also from performance perspective, yes, I think always extracts will be much better than the live connection. It's all depends upon the size of data what you are dealing with. That's the important thing here. So now since Now I'm getting into live connection itself. I quickly wrap it out. Give me another 5 to 10 minutes, please. So here, since keeping time in, we are running out of time, I believe, but still I will try to give you a few visualizations which are
Not a
commonly
problem. You
used.
can carry on.
You can
Not a
okay,
problem,
fine
sir.
then.
You can carry.
Okay. So I will try to show you most commonly used visualizations, mainly for their analysis, especially in the data science field. People will commonly using this distribution analysis, right? So you will have normal distribution is there. From the result set, you will be able to draw some inferences like, there will be some positive distributions will be there, negative distribution will be there, and also you may need to see some outliers, outliers. You may need to generate some insight where you want to quickly look into the only on the outliers part, or I just want to see the distribution on the box plots per suppose. So these are all normally commonly used visualizations, especially in the data science areas, where I'll try to show you some fine examples now. And starting with what do you say, go for how many, what are the things we have here. We have histograms, we have it, we have box plot, we have it. And let's see how we can make use here. Maybe I'll try to go for histograms first. Primarily, normally this will be most commonly used visualization, even when you are using R or Python, right? So when you have a data set, you will be using multiple packages, predefined packages will be there. You will using some ggplot and those predefined built-in packages where you may need to pass the parameters there so that you will be able to see the visualizations. On top of it, you will be you will be drawing some inferences there. So here we'll try to build that. So if you, so the advantage with the Tableau here, right? When you click on particular visualization, it will give you some recommendations saying that how many measures you may need to consider or how many dimensions you may need to consider. So normally, if you see in the histogram, ideally it will deal with one or two measures, but ideally as of now, one measure is the recommendation here. So let's take an example, say, from customer's perspective, normally people will be placing some, they will be placing some orders, or directly they will get into the store and then they will be purchasing some good amount of products, right? So mainly I just want to analyze primarily on the quantity, how much of quantity they are purchasing on a particular product. I just want to see that. So if you see I just want to analyze on the quantity. This is one common measure you will be seeing across the retail industry or a e-commerce one. So I just want to analyze on the quantity here, and I just enable a histogram. Now on the quantity, how this got distributed, right? You just want to analyze on the frequency of the distribution currently, whatever we have. And if you see, this is the topmost value. If you see quantity 2, and how much quantity you are seeing, around close to 4,811 quantities, either they have purchased directly or they would have placed the request, placed the order. So you are seeing under this bins. So if you see in histograms, right, bin plays a vital role here, where this entire visualization is primarily relied on this bin characteristics itself. So bin is nothing but a kind of range. Here you could see the range here. I just want to see the range between here. So the values are not relatively placed here, but it is better to define some the default bin signs given with this visualization, where we may need to change that. So to derive some meaningful insight. So where you will go that. So somewhere here bin metric will be defined here. Say, so see here we have quantity bin. So just need to edit this histogram bin, and then here the default automatic value given is 1.77. I just want to categorize these bins. I just want to distribute maybe in every 2 or 3 values here. Let me give you the 3. So if you see right, so you're able to see from ranges from 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, you are able to see the values here. So here you could see a kind of, I won't say a kind of normal distribution. It's a kind of some positive or negative distribution. You can easily, get the inference from this insight here. So I just don't want to see the values 1 and 2 as well. Why? Because hardly you are seeing the values here. So just want to hide this instance. You just edit the axis and then maybe you can go for fixed here, then you can give some intervals as well. Here in this way, you can easily draw the pin here. Sorry, somebody is asking something. Is the question to me? No, I believe. Okay. So this is one histogram I think now we have created. This is mainly for just to analyze your distribution frequencies here. So normally this is how normally histograms will be managed here. Maybe now let me show you one other visualization. I just want to focus on outlier detection, not most commonly used functionality, especially in the data science, right? So so how you want to do that? Like, let me show you. So let me show you which one is the best attribute I can take here, say subcategory. So let me take the subcategory here. So I may apply any filter here. So let me go for this one, and what is the sales you have? I just want to see the sales here. So that I will go for sales. Or else 1 minute. I just want to see so here you could see the sales in the multiple ranges here. I just want to show some outliers here. Sorry. So, control, I can use control. So if you see the control, right, only, the top values will be seen out of these values as well. I mean to say here, this is not the best thing to be used. Instead, we better use other metrics, say the thing we can make use here. Otherwise, so I just want to show many transactions. So I'll go for order date at least. You'll have multiple order dates here. So not this one. So let me come back first. So at the day level, we have seen the order dates now. And now I just want to analyze, I just want to see the sales. So that from out of that, I think I just want to detect the outliers here. So I just want to get into if you see, right, you're able to see some maximum values in a bigger size. So for better, much appealing visualizations, maybe you can put this same sales in color as well. So that now you are able to see the outliers quickly, right? So this is one of the outliers, which is holding some extreme value, right? Anything is extreme value, you will be considered the kind of outlier. Maybe from visualization perspective, maybe you can also change some colors here so that so to go for this one, maybe this will give you some clear picture. So how many values you can consider as outliers? You can easily draw on some inferences here. So the main advantage here you could see, right? So mainly advantage with Tableau is, so let me get into the presentation now. Again, I will come back anyway. So if you see, right, I have listed out common differences based on the experiences currently, whatever we have. So if you see the primarily from developer perspective or architect perspective or admin perspective, whatever it may be, when compared to the MicroStrategy, Tableau is a much easier, friendly one where all the efforts, it will be 1/3 of efforts will come down when compared to the MicroStrategy. For suppose if you are asked to design and come up with a dashboard, then you may need to create all the base objects like attributes, facts, metrics. You need to create the report first, filters, and on top of it, you need to build the dashboard. This is a, so you may need to focus on the semantic layer, application build, and base objects build, base reporting. On top of it, dashboard builds. So these are all multiple steps you may need to work on if you are building an enterprise reporting solution. But whereas in Tableau, directly you can get connected to the warehouse and then you can build the visualization then and there itself. But where exactly we can make use of Tableau and MicroStrategy, that really matters here. So as I said, right, when you are working in a project, what is the requirement is about, how much of data is currently present in the project, and how many users are going to access the platform as well, and how much of content you are getting covered in the actual dashboard. These are all the factors normally will be considered under the feasibility aspects first, and then accordingly normally projects will be started there. So ideally in a service based companies, right? So I didn't first they will identify the resources first, and then they will go for the billing. And I mean to say they will consider multiple feasibility aspects. I mean to say in your software engineering subject as well, this is one of the key metric or key functionality you will be learning, right? The feasibility study, that is very, very important. Feasibility study is not only from developer perspective to understand the project requirements, but also on the project from project right from designing the project, working on the right from end to end delivery, how much of cost is associated for this entire project development. From cost feasibility perspective also we may need to keep in mind. Keeping that in mind, if you see MicroStrategy, is very costlier than Tableau. As of now, the latest pricing model is primarily based on average peak user concurrency. What is APU stands for is average peak user. That means so many users will log into the particular application, they will be accessing the content, right? So they will take the peak user timings and then they will take in mean or central tendency. They will take the average and then accordingly the pricing will be imposed on the number of users. So if you see that as of now, $310 per user per month they are charging. This is from web users perspective. Whereas the developer tools perspective, $2,500, they may need to spend to procure one MicroStrategy desktop feature. As I said, right, all the 90% of developer activity will be taking part directly from the desktop itself. Whereas in Tableau, you see, it is 1/3 pricing you are seeing, right? Hardly 2.5 or 1/3 price you are seeing that. That's where this entire world is moving towards ahead, where Tableau is much better, in terms of pricing and also from visualization perspective. But if you really want to build any scalable product, then you don't have any other option to go for any other enterprise BI tools like Cognos, OBAE, MicroStrategy. So these are all multiple factors normally will be considered before we'll go ahead with actual development. But I personally suggest you can download both MicroStrategy and Tableau, preferably Tableau itself. Why? Because you will be getting 1 year subscription will be there, free license subscription with all the functionalities will be given to you. So that, but only thing is you will not be able to publish directly onto the server. But suppose you will be working on your 4.1 or 4.2, that is 8th semester, I believe you will be working on the projects, right? So if you use Tableau, right, so and then you will be building your one analytics project, and you may need to present it directly from the Tableau desktop itself. You will not having any other option. Maybe you can export the entire content through Excel. You can export the content and also you can present it directly through PPT as well. That is the only option you have it. When compared to the MicroStrategy, yes, you can able to deploy it to the server as well, and then you will be able to show that. But that is the only key difference, I would say, primarily who are going to take part in actual capstone project development. But other than that, I personally suggest you, though I am more passionate about MicroStrategy, I suggest you as a student, I suggest you please go for Tableau, so that I think the amount of data where you will be working with, I don't think this will be a large scale. Mostly it will be small time to large scale databases itself. and you will be able to manage the content there. Okay. And any particular thing you wanted to see in Tableau, so that I will try to generate some insight there. Since it's a one-sided conversation, I believe, for the past 1.5 hours, maybe if you want to generate any insight, let me know. We'll try to quickly do that. Otherwise, we'll get into the actual recommendations part of this capstone project. Does anyone pinging here?
Yeah, basically, thank you very much, sir. It has been, the pricing is a real issue, and either it is MicroStrategy or Cognos. How to deal with it effectively to keep the pricing down, cost down for the company. Thank you.
Correct. That's great. That's great question, mate. So that's what, right? If you see, you hardly will see in this top value. I clearly mentioned, right? Average peak user concurrency. You will never ever see anywhere in the even the Tableau sites as well. You will not be seeing that. But ideally, companies will be working directly with the companies, right? But suppose Standard Chartered is there, where they will be working directly with the the Tableau or MicroStrategies. So normally, companies. As of now, the trend is not on the named based licenses. As of now, whatever you are seeing in the servers, right? Those are named based licenses. But when compared to the when you see here, it is primarily on the concurrency basis. They are evaluating these licenses. But still, if you need to get some additional discounts, then normally the basic tendency, right? If you procure more, you will get more discount. So yeah, that's where. But ideally, in the current scenario, keeping the target audience who is the students here, or even the staff as well. I think even staff, they are entitled. I'm really not sure. I mean, say whether they will be getting the separate license here, but definitely students from first year to last year, they are entitled to get a separate license exclusively for 1 year. Maybe happily they can make use of it, and then they can work on it. But tab in MicroStrategy, even the workstation, whatever you can download now, maybe in the other slide I will show you the workstation that will work for only 30 days. That is the problem. That's where I'm personally preferring all the students to go for Tableau rather than MicroStrategy. Yeah, but licensing cost wise, as I said, if somebody can procure more licenses, then definitely you will be given some much better discounts. See, wherever you go, the business will remain same, right? So at the end of the day, even from Tableau perspective or MicroStrategy perspective, they just want to earn some money out of these licenses itself. So how there will be kind of premium support will be there, normal support will be there. The kind of how much of amount you are investing against your products in the organization, based on that, how many licenses you will be procuring, based on that, a kind of support also will be given, a kind of discounts also will be given to you. Yeah, so I think until that extent, maybe I can answer your question. Anything about than that, but I truly don't have any idea because I am not into sales. Yeah, did I answer your question, please?
Yes. I have one question. How this will help for students studying whether can do some
Sorry,
projects.
I'm not audible.
Hello.
I'm not able to hear anything. Somebody is speaking. I'm not able to hearing.
Hello. Am I audible, sir? Hello. Is audible?
No,
Hello?
you are not audible. Sorry.
Sir, I am Dr. Sashikla. I have a question from you, sir.
Can
Hello,
you
sir?
please loud your voice, please?
Sir, I am Shashikla.
Uh-huh.
Sir, we are doing a research on imbalanced data, sir.
Okay.
For that, can we use this Tableau for raw data first? After that, I can classify it, sir?
Correct. Correct. You have to use Tableau itself. The better option will be Tableau rather than MicroStrategy. Yes,
Okay.
please. And
Okay.
maybe, yeah, since you are saying some imbalanced data, you have it in the sense, you may to do some kind of EDA needs to be done there. So see, as I said, right, though I am into business intelligence, where always we prefer to go for insights itself, but ideally that should not be the case. If you see the entire in the data science in the hierarchy of operations, right, ideally if you see the EDA is the key thing. Mainly you may need to carry some good amount of business understanding and data understanding. From there you may need to do a lot of EDA needs to be done. From there your primary data set is getting defined, right? So I personally suggest you may need to emphasize primarily on the EDA first. From there, where you will be using some R, Python, as well as in the Excel, you may need to thoroughly work on it. And then on top of it, from there, a primary data set will be defined. On top of it, you will be using Tableau. Yeah. But I
Sir,
personally suggest, as I said,
this is
EDA is the
possible
key step
only
where
for
you need to
primary
focus.
data, sir.
Sorry?
This is useful for primary data only, sir. Can we shall we proceed with secondary data, no?
Yeah. See, in Tableau, yes, you can consider your data set as a primary or a secondary data sources as well. And see, so keeping the
Sir, my
time
doubt
frame in mind, I
is,
have not covered those blending relationships and all. But ideally, you can have a number of data sets as well. But personally, my recommendation is not to go for more than 2 data sets. One is primary, one is secondary. That's it. Why? Because this is gonna impact the performance. But
yes.
if you keep a project in mind, where you may need to showcase the result set to the Viva coordinator will be there, right? I mean to say, whoever comes during your final review, mainly for their presentation purpose, yes, you can have a number of data sets. But when you are working in an actual project, at least, and maybe in a company, then ideally the best practice is not to go beyond more than 2 data sets. Why? Because it will affect the performance. So though you go for extract connection, it is not recommended to go for multiple files, more than 2 files. One is primary, one is secondary. That should be more enough. That's it.
Sir, my doubt is, see, if I can take an imbalanced data for secondary data means they have already classified. The labels are there. Suppose if I am taking a primary data means the labels are not mentioned in that, no. So in that case, can I, the pattern identification purpose, shall I go with the Tableau, sir?
No, that's what I'm saying, right? So when it is not matching what you need to do, you should not get into Tableau. Before that, you need to do some kind of EDA in Excel, where you may need to do some kind of VLOOKUPs needs to be done, where you need to map the entire relative dimensions you may need to map.
Okay.
First, you need to prepare the data sets first. So you may need to do, in order to get the relative dimensions at a particular granular level, you want to see the relative content, in the sense what you need to do. You need to do a lot of VLOOKUP needs to be done. You need to prepare the content first, then you will be blending the data sources.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
That is
So
very, very important.
for that, shall I go with the histogram and all? Is it helpful for me?
It depends, right? It depends. So that's what, right? See,
Yes.
my personal choice always will be trendline graph.
Okay.
So it depends, that's where Tableau will help you in assisting you which visualization you can pick it for your data set. Recommendations do come, but ideally, see, this is your dashboard, right? When you are designing your new dashboard, it's all up to you how you wanted to project
Thank
it.
you.
So creativity comes into picture here. So any suitable visualization which is fitting, absolutely you can go for it, please. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
Any other questions, please, before I get into the last slide, please?
Sir, one more question is there in chat box. Where do you rate Power BI in comparison to Microstrategy and Tableau?
No, you cannot compare Power BI with, I told you, right? In or other way, it's all depends upon, see, I will tell you one fact, okay? MicroStrategy, I was working in MicroStrategy right from 2006, starting with 8.0.1 version. Now we are into 2020.2. Around close to 10 to 12 versions I worked for. Right from the beginning until now, the cost-wise, pricing-wise, they never come down until now. What could be the reason? Why? Because if somebody wants to analyze, or just if somebody wants to build the decision support systems against some scalable products, they don't have any other choice going for enterprise BI tools like MicroStrategy. So comparison comes when you have a requirement in mind, right? So for suppose you will be working on one of the project. So for suppose somebody might be doing some MTech now, where they will be doing some kind of real-time projects. They will be getting some real-time projects directly from the different companies itself. So where you will be doing that one as a kind of in-house project sitting in your company, in your college itself, and you will be having some scaling of product. You can measure, right? You could measure the content, how much content you are literally getting covered there, That is the first thing. And the second important thing is security is the key feature you need to keep in mind. So for suppose, that's what I clearly mentioned here, right? So I would say among all the slides, this one is the key slide. I think personally I have kept it, based on my experiences, right? So if you want to enable the row level security, so for suppose we have around close to 142 participants now, right? All the 142 participants, we have different countries. Each and every other participant belongs to one country. We have around close to 190 or 210 countries in the entire globe now. Out of which 142 participants from different countries attend unique participant from different countries appearing, I mean to say, are working in a particular project. I mean to say one developer is working for a project where 142 participants, unique participants from different geographies are going to access the entire content. Say, for suppose content is around close to 10 GB of data. That's it. 10 GB of data in sense, no problem. Yes, you can go for Tableau and also you can go for MicroStrategy. So leave about pricing. Yeah, that means your company is they don't bother about pricing. They offered you, doesn't matter. You can please go for pricing and all. But still, whether all the features are literally you'll be able to manage or not, you need to keep in mind. Among all those features, very first topmost priority before you go for BA tool proposition is recommending for any BA tool is the security. Is a very, very important thing. Security plays vital role in any kind of insights. I mean to say when in any analytics product you are coming up with, right? Ideally, that is that analytics suite is not built for only one top user, right? So there are different business users where they are entitled to see only some slice of data from the given product. Then how you will manage that? That is the important key factor you need to consider. That is row level security. That is a very important thing you need to build that. Next thing is column level security as well. If I have a report where you have around 10 to 15 KPIs are there, where one user is entitled to see only 2 KPIs. So that kind of security also needs to be managed. In that context, Tableau is not a best suit. Tableau, it can handle row level security until some extent, not in a complete extent. But MicroStrategy is not the case. MicroStrategy, any level of security, any type of security, you will be able to manage. So personally, but still I'm fond of, or I'm a passionate of Tableau when it comes with any kind of development effect perspective. If I normally my manager comes to me asking for a kind of one business solution, I always prefer Tableau. Why? Because effort estimates will be very less when compared to the MicroStrategy. But that doesn't mean all the functionalities you'll be able to enable that. Why? Because security you need to keep in mind, row level security you need to keep in mind, and then the visualization comes into picture. Not every time you need to focus on the visualization. Though it is a visualization tool, though you need to come up with visualizations, but still these two key features you need to keep in mind, which is the key difference place between the selection of which BI tool to be used there. Okay, so I personally, I literally making use of MicroStrategy and Tableau now, but Power BI, you see, it is standing way above the Tableau now. Why? Because the compatibility features, if you see, and also the security implementation is also when compared to Power BI, Tableau is literally, way down when compared to the Power BI. So as far as my expertise is concerned there. So and also whatever the features currently MicroStrategy is offering, I would say around 40 to 50% of features are readily available in Power BI, but not all the features are ready available in Tableau now. So features wise, I would say Power BI is better, not much better, better than Tableau. Yeah. But from user friendly perspective, if you want to learn any new thing, Tableau will be much better than Power BI. Why? Because Power BI, you may need to carry some skill sets like a query editor kind of thing, where you need to adapt it to some kind of syntax. You should be proficient in Excel. Excel is not just like pivoting kind of thing. You should be proficient in VLOOKUPs, advanced Excel skill sets you should carry, so that you can write your own DAX expressions. So whatever you write there, those will be considered as a kind of DAX expressions. So that's where. So these are all the things, factors you need to keep in mind before you go for any BA tool. So ideally, I personally, companies normally, people should not ask that question at all. Why? Because we have all the tools readily available in hand. Based on the requirement itself, we may need to pick the tool. Did I answer your question, please? Hello?
Sir, there is one more question. What are the critical challenges in working with massive volumes of data on Tableau?
Performance. First thing is performance. So as I showed you, right, in Tableau, so when you have one dashboard, right, so there will be some selectors will be there. So slicing and dicing is very common thing, right? End user, they just want to see the multiple views from the existing dashboard itself. So selectors will be there. They can make some selections on the filter values, and then they may need to sit for 10 to 15 minutes if you work on large volumes of data. That is the problem with Tableau. Until some extent, you need to consider that, and then you need to go for Tableau, that too with extract mechanism, not in the live mechanism. Never ever try that. Your system will hang. So that's what scalability is the key thing to be considered, followed by security. Yeah. So recommendations do there. Just go through the Tableau browser. I mean, it's a Tableau site. There are some recommendations where until what extent you could go for, and then maybe you can accordingly you can prefer the BI tool to be used there, please. Yeah.
Namaste, sir. As a part of descriptive analytics, using Microstrategy or Power BI or Tableau, relating to our SaaS business intelligence. If you take SaaS business intelligence as a part of naming conventions, if you take real-time applications in text analytics, if you compare it to English language, Sanskrit language, French language, and Arabic language and Korean language, sir, in that aspect, if you take naming conventions from left to right and right to left, it differs, sir. And if we compare with MicroStrategy integration with Python, one aspect, and secondary is with SaaS business analytics, sir. In that one, definitely gap will come, sir, relating to minimize the cost and maximize the output and maximize the result to the business owner, and ultimately to generate some profit to the business owner and give correct service to the client. In that aspect, how to we have to go ahead to overcome these gap relating to implementation of tools using SaaS business intelligence and any MicroStrategy integration with Python business intelligence like that, sir.
Correct. That's I understood your question. Maybe you can correct me if I understood in a wrong way, but by hearing your the challenge, right? So this interoperability, that's what you're saying, right? The language operability should be there to be enabled across the platforms. Okay, that's what you're talking about,
sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So language interoperability, for suppose. So not every time you will be feeding the data only in the English language, where you may need to present the data in different languages like Chinese language, traditional Chinese languages will be there. In Chinese also there will be traditional Chinese language will be there, and Japanese, most Korean. These are the most commonly used languages even in the MicroStrategy. But MicroStrategy supports this interoperability at the application level, interface level, and also related database technologies. If the feed is literally happening in the respective language, MicroStrategy can support these interoperability until complete extent. 100% it is you can enable in MicroStrategy. But whereas in Tableau, I never came across any such functionality enabled in Tableau. I don't think so. Even the Power BI, I don't think that feature enabled across the visualization tools. So we'll keep it aside. Now coming into your question, how normally the feasibility aspects will be considered between SaaS and MicroStrategy, right? So, but ideally, when any such scenarios or challenges comes into picture, right, you may need to do a kind of pilot project kind of thing, or at least POCs. You don't need to go for actual pilot release kind of thing, but POCs, there is nothing wrong in doing a kind of POCs. You just go for 2 database tables, try to establish this interoperability directly from the database first, and try to extract it directly from the database, and then consuming the same into the application level. What I mean to say is employee table is there. Take very simple example, employee table, employee ID and employee name and employee salary. And employee ID and employee name and employee salary, English and the number values will be displaying in a normal table. Separately, you may need to create another language tables explicitly for Japanese, Korean, as well as in the Sanskrit. 4 tables you will be presenting in the physical warehouse, right? Until now, this is common for both of your BA platforms. One is Microstrategy, one is SAS. Now you need to extract the code. You need to consume whether MicroStrategy, from MicroStrategy perspective, I can tell why, because SAS I'm not aware. But MicroStrategy perspective, MicroStrategy can enable those parameters where it can consume the data which is of different language as well. So that I can consume that. I can see those physical tables as logical tables in MicroStrategy, and then I can define those attributes, say employee attribute, where in earlier presentation we have seen, right? The country ID, country name will be English, which is the default one, and I will include one more description form, say country name Sanskrit or country name Japanese. So automatically when you pull in those reports in the actual report content, you will be able to see the entire result set with no extra cost. You could enable that. Why? Because this is part of the feature. Actually, this feature is a part of MicroStrategy enterprise platform. No extra cost needs to invest here. This is from MicroStrategy perspective, I'm telling you. From SAS perspective, I'm truly not sure, but this entire mechanism will remain same. Now, until some extent I have answered your question. Maybe which is the other thing which I'm missing out? Can you please highlight that?
Yes, sir. Means relating to SaaS business intelligence in itself, it's concerned, sir. There will be naming conventions will be there, sir. If I write left to right and right to left, there will be some gap will definitely arise, sir. If you take a practical example of Arabic, in Arabic, if you compare to English, there will be total difference, sir. Left to right and right to left, sir. If you take that into text analytics, in ASCII standards also, taking the naming conventions and standards also 100% gap arises, sir. In that perspective, if you compare to one is tool perspective and second one is inbuilt to that individual tool perspective also, to minimize the cost for the business owner and to give the correct service or valuable results to the customer and ultimately to generate profit for the business owner. In that perspective, how to overcome and we have to go ahead in a real-time implementation perspective.
I'm really not sure. Can I ask you this question? But still, just tell me if I get an answer from you. First of all, you are working a project now, and I think you are facing the challenge in your current working project. Am I right?
No, sir. My project area is actual where I am doing is in prediction analytics, sir. But one of the like capstone projects I worked with the text analytics also in the in that environment where I get trained in SAS and compared to some of the fundamentals of Tableau and MicroStrategy, this gap arises, sir. In that one to get clarified any information still further comes, I asked the question, sir.
True, mate. But truly this case I never came across, but definitely we heard somewhere, I think, especially there are some languages where the chronological order, I mean to say, when you type the language, right, or when you write, people will start from right to left. So ideally, but definitely I'm sure, 100% I'm sure, this is not going to manage at application level. This is for sure. But investing purpose, I mean to say, what kind of additional effort where backend team may need to invest in making this data set ready available for you, and how normally they will be feeding this data. I think truly I am maybe I am clueless as of now, but definitely this is one use case. Maybe I can refer as well, and then maybe I can explore. But I never came across any such scenario, mate. Yeah, but definitely this is a very good use case. Can be considered in anywhere people are working for this text analytics. Yeah, that's correct.
Yes, sir. Little bit extension, sir. If we go for natural language processing, particularly using deep learning algorithms, application of deep learning algorithms, and that is relating to data science, sir. And in that environment also, if we same gap arising, sir. means web analytics, text analytics, relating to natural language processing, conversion of data from one language to another language, from English to Sanskrit, English to Arabic, Arabic to English, or if you go to Chinese or Korean, the alphabets will be very less, sir. Total their language itself in some of the diagrams are visual environments. And in that one, taking naming conventions, ASCII standards, for example, in one alphabet itself, there will be one comma, one dot, one full stop, like that, sir, in one alphabet itself. And the system taking naming conventions also, some gap is arising, sir. And ultimately, in the if you take result orientation, using same project, using MicroStrategy, same SaaS business intelligence, uh, definitely difference is coming, sir. Means ultimate result.
Correct. Let me show you the same thing. Now I could remember few things. Maybe this would give you some understanding, but let me try that, please. So you are seeing this, you are seeing my screen, right? So if you see right here, so as of now, you are seeing everything in English language, right?
Yes, sir.
You are able to see my screen, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
I'll show you. That is a built-in feature readily available in MicroStrategy. We don't need to anything actually. So see, you are seeing the language, right? So as of now, default is set up been as English, right? Here you can change it to whatever language you want. Say, for suppose I'll go for Korean or Japanese. Okay. You are seeing my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
So here, when I change this language, right? Japanese I'm changing, and then I'll apply. So that means here the only semantics will change, not the actual values. This is what the metadata is about, right? That means the folder names, the attribute names, metric names, whatever you are seeing, you are able to see the entire content here. So in Japanese, you are able to see that, right? So if I go to MicroStrategy tutorial, right? So this is nothing but shared folders, which is appearing in the Japanese language. So this is what tool will offer you. MicroStrategy will offer only until this extent, but you are asking on the project data, which will appear in the warehouse, correct?
Yes, sir.
So in warehouse, somebody has to make an entry. If somebody want to create a table, they just need to create a table name wherein to cover all the column names, and then you need to insert the data. And then at first you will be inserting your English language data. Later they may need to include the Japanese or Korean language data in manually only, right? Now tell me, so how you are inserting the data there?
Yes, sir. In that step only, sir, if we uploading the data, sir, first of all, we have to transform into some Excel format or JSON format,
Correct.
or SPSS file format, whichever is a relevant tool, sir. But most probably we'll go for Excel only, sir. In that aspect only, sir, if you take SaaS business intelligence, if Arabic, that total naming conventions itself varies, sir. In that perspective, in the primary step itself, the gap is arising.
Okay. Maybe, as I said, right, I think I never came across any such thing. And semantic wise, the project wise, I mean, say folders wise, the metadata wise will be able to change directly in the system, I mean, say the MicroStrategy platform itself. And normally we consume the project data in the relative language directly from the database by creating those transaction tables. So transaction table in the sense which will be in the different language tables. I mean, say not transaction, transition tables will be there, not transition tables will be there. From there, normally we'll consume the data, but truly I'm not sure about SaaS mate. Yeah, but definitely this one you would use. Maybe I can look over that one. Yeah. So I think we are. I think I am done with almost the content wise. But
Thank you,
lastly,
sir.
yeah, thanks, mate. And coming into the capstone project, right? So if somebody wants to develop any insight, just want to build some decision support system, people want to build in the sense, I think they must carry some skill sets first. So SQL is a very basic analytical skill they should carry, and not in a complete extent. Right? They don't need to go for stored procedures. They don't need to go until that extent. Programming is absolutely not required. Querying, they should be good enough in query language until joins, and they should be in a position to write some subqueries. That should be more enough to learn get into business intelligence. And also they should carry some dimensional modeling and Snowflake schemas, whatever the schemas we have. They should have some fine understanding there. And what is this aggregations about, and what is this candidate keys? Apart from primary keys, you also will have candidate keys as well as those are surrogate keys, right? What is the key role will be playing there in the schemas? People should get some fine understanding. Once they acquired all these skill sets, then I think they can download these softwares directly from the given URLs here, and then and Tableau, as I said, 1 year subscription is there. Please avail that, and these are all the series of steps you may need to go ahead to generate some useful insights. So I'm sure, I think you guys are matured enough. I think you have got some excellent understanding across the analytics areas there. And though it is a basic content, but this is the basis analysis for you to also get into the data science areas as well. So I'm also aspirant to data scientist now. I mean, say to get into data science, but as of now, I'm still focusing on the EDA and the visualization. And maybe I may need to invest some extra time to get into predictive analytics and prescriptive analytics as well. So yeah, but that's it pretty much from my side. So it's a very nice opportunity for me to share my experiences, a limited experience, and also good to have some decent time with all of you. Thank you so much. So any last minute questions before winding up the call, please?
Some people are asking for your email ID and contact details. If you can write in your chat.
Definitely. Yeah, 1 minute right away. Yeah, I think my personal suggestion to all the students, right? I'm really not sure, but personal suggestion is when I was in the edge of completing my MCA, right? 2005 and 2004 and 2005, we hardly find projects. I mean to say, we don't have proper channel or guidance. Though there is a kind of guidance from our professors, but that is limited to the domain perspective, not on the tools perspective or the technologies perspective, where exactly we can make leverage with a free cost, and where exactly we may need to start, and how we may need to search for a kind of different projects and all. At the time, we don't have this much visibility, but this time and in the current in the present state, right? I think everything is ready available for you. You don't need to go for anywhere to find for any projects there. So there are a number of in-house projects where you can take it, and then I personally suggest you should not limit it to only one project. Maybe you may need to do it for 2 to 3 projects before you complete your curriculum year here, so that so once you equipped with all the skill sets, right? I think in or other way you definitely will get selected in your campus selections, and this is my personal advice. I have given it to my cousin as well. If somebody who is so technically is very strong, and also he is very good at communication as well, per suppose, but still you may never know, that guy will be ending up with assigning very basic projects, I mean to say, where skill sets are primarily limited to the testing. I mean to say that doesn't mean testing is a very basic skill, but when you have data science, which is advanced niche skill sets ready available, everybody wanted to get into data science, or they just want to get into niche skill sets. But if that to happen, in the sense, you may need to project that during your one-on-ones at the time of having interviews with your technical teams from the respective companies. You may need to project all these things. You may need to market yourself. For that, I think it is better to do at least 2 to 3 projects, though it's a small projects or medium project, doesn't matter. But your interest should be visible there. That is very, very important thing. So this is the only thing I just want to give you a suggestion. If you like it, you just keep it. Otherwise, you can ignore, please. Yeah. Thank you so much. And let me share the content details here, please. Yeah.
So thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You had given a very valuable information to all our participants. Even though some of them till today they may not used any of the business logic tools, but you had given a overview of how those can be helpful in our daily life as well as in our professional life. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And you had given a good comparison between MicroStrategy as well as Tableau. And even on Sunday, you had spent a lot of time with us and shared valuable
No,
knowledge
that's fine.
with all
That's yeah.
with all participants. And once again, I thank you so much, sir. And if possible, in future also, we'll have another session with all our final year students so that you can give an
Definitely.
overview how they can complete their projects, etc. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
definitely. I just want to extend my, thanks to Kamesh sir and Mr. Sagar as well. I think who was working very closely with me for the past 1 week. And
Yes.
thanks for giving me opportunity to share my little experience, so that definitely it might help you in maybe in the later stages as well for your future career, please. Thanks
Yes.
everyone. All the best for your future, mate. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yeah. Few announcements for the participants. Thanks a lot, first of all, for spending your valuable time to gain knowledge from various resource persons all over the world. And yes, today we are having a great session with Dr. E. Suresh Babu from Department of CSC, NIT Warangal. He is going to give you his lecture on IoT architecture and protocols at the same time 10 o'clock on the same link. So please do participate. And this is going to be a last week for this 3-week FTP. And on the last day, you have a final assessment for this entire 3-week FDP on Google Classroom. Thank you. Once again, thank you one and all.
Hello.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have
Um,
one question with Vamsi sir. Can I ask?
Sorry, sir, he had left. I think so.
No, I'm here. Please tell me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He is there. Yeah. Continue,
I'm
sir.
sorry, sir.
Please.
This is a late entry question, but I won't take your much time.
No problem,
Vamsi,
please.
yeah, thank you. So Vamsi sir, I have done my data science, machine learning, and in the domain of oil and gas industry and marketing analytics. What is the chance that I can make a transition to banking sector, or what skills I need to have?
See, I am a BA specialist, mate. Even as I said that I am an aspirant to get into data science. So, but ideally, with my limited knowledge, maybe I can tell you saying that you should have some the basic functionalities, basic skill sets like the SQL, and you should be proficient in dimensional modeling as well, and also in the business intelligence. From there, I think. You have this CRISP framework. Just go to the CRISP framework. You will be able to. Hello.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah.
Sir, the best, the gift you have is that like you have a domain knowledge of more than maybe 12, 13, 14 years. But so you know what sort of skill sets are required, or maybe what is the domain requirement, like how you can align your domain knowledge with the skill sets, because skill sets can be developed, but domain knowledge, it takes a lot of experience.
Correct. That is absolutely correct. If you see analytics primarily into 2 types, mate. One is business analytics and data analytics. Data analytics are primarily the developers, who is the actual statisticians, all the technicians
Okay.
who will be working primarily towards the building the analytics suites there, right? Or decision support system or end products, whatever it may be. But business analytics, they are the key drivers from the business perspective. where they will be providing you some enough business knowledge unless until. So who are all aspirant to get into the data science, simply without carrying the skill sets like Tableau, data science, machine learning engineer, all these things will not help at all. So if somebody want to build a data model, they should have some excellent understanding on the business first. You should have thorough knowledge on the business understanding first. On top of it, then you will be able to, then you will have on top of it again, you will have some data understanding. From there, you will be able to, confidently you will be able to work on the EDA preparation.
Okay.
To see wherever you go, right? EDA is the key step, I'm telling you. Once your EDA is done, right, your 60% of job is done.
Yes.
So recently, I went for one training from Microsoft directly on the Power BI part a couple of years back. At the time, while we were having a training itself, my instructor got a call, and then he went for a 10-minute break. And with his line manager, there was one business requester from Ashok Leyland. They directly, he had come up with the entire project data. That guy was asking, the business case is straightforward. My business is my sales needs to be improved in the Chandigarh region. Please let me know what is the best steps needs to be taken as part of corrective action, whatever it may be. Just I need to make sure my sales should grow. That is the business objective, and he shared the project data and he left off. So for that, the instructor, I think, who was giving training at the time, right? So he should have, proceeded first with the business understanding only. That is important, right? So what are the different entities they are having in their system currently? How the workflow looks like? So they should get complete business understanding with all the scenarios. They should keep a note of it in the paper first. On top of it, they should relate the data between multiple entities, whether that can be presented in the database or that may not be there, where they may need to extract, they may need to infer from the social sites, and then they may need to do a lot of EDA work there. So business understanding, I would say 10 to 15%, and the EDA part, definitely it takes 20 to 40%, I would say. So once your data set is ready, so tools and machine learning models, anyway, you will be able to apply just like a parameters kind of thing, right? So anyway, you will get proficient. That's what you were telling, right? Tools anyone can learn, but business, it's not that much easy. You may need to spend some good amount of time, where that's what in the companies, people in the companies will be termed as subject matter experts, where they have traveled with in the respective project teams, where they have considered or seen a lot of scenarios. So how they may need to overcome with a kind of possible solution through this data analytics. So yeah, I think they may need to invest a lot of time in business analytics and business understanding. Then and there, they will be able to focus on the EDA part. Yeah. So this is with the limited knowledge currently, whatever I have met. Maybe you may not take it granted on this, but yeah, this is my personal suggestion, please. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vamsi sir. Thanks a lot.
Fine,
even
then.
you had spent your valuable time. Yeah,
No
all
problem.
the participants, thank you so much and have a good day. Thank you.
Thanks, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.